Hi, this is Dr. Mary Kathleen Figueroa coming to you from the Thyroid Channel. If this is your first time, please be advised this is for educational purposes. If you have specific endocrine complaints, please discuss with a local endocrinologist. Today we'll be debunking 3 myths about weight loss that may keep you from achieving the weight loss you deserve and you desire. If you have Hashimoto's thyroiditis and hypothyroidism, you can sometimes have a slower metabolism. So what are 3 myths that might be keeping you from achieving weight loss? Number 1, the fact that you enter starvation mode and you want to avoid this at any time, and that is why you cannot go below 1,200 calories per day, because that's when you enter starvation mode. Unfortunately, it's very hard to avoid starvation mode. Anytime you drastically cut your calories, your body perceives that as a threat, and it has counter mechanisms. It has hormones that it increases or decreases in order to deal with the fact that you have suddenly decreased your calorie intake. So anytime that you lower your calorie intake suddenly for any period of time, for longer than 24-hour period, your body enters automatically into what is called starvation mode. So it's impossible to avoid starvation mode if you are lowering your calories, and the only way to lose weight is to lower your calories. So the myth is that you can avoid starvation mode, and the myth is that if you're in starvation mode, you will not be able to lose weight. Since we know there are people who have the medical condition of anorexia and who lower the calorie intakes to 200 calories per day and lose weight dramatically, we know it's not true that you can't overcome the starvation mode by eating less calories. You can always eat less calories, but is that diet healthful for you? So here's my take on what you can do to avoid starvation mode being an important part of your weight loss goal. Go low and go slow. Figure out how many calories you're eating per day. Lower those calories moderately by no more than 250 calories, perhaps 500 calories, depending how many excess calories you have. And then you'll be losing weight in a more moderate pace and not in a sudden way that will make your endocrine system realize that you are taking so few calories in. It needs to take counter-regulatory measures. It needs to change your hormone profile in order to avoid your losing too much weight. So that's number 1, the starvation mode myth. Number 2, needing 5 to 6 meals per day. Studies actually have been done on this, where people were put in situations where they given the same number of calories and they ate 5 to 6 meals per day, or they ate only 3 meals per day. And as it turns out, there is a difference between the two. You are likely to be less hungry if you eat 5 meals per day than you are if you eat 3 meals per day. And that makes sense if you're lowering your calorie intake, that the more often you take a little bit of calories, the less likely you are to feel hungry. So if you are one of those incredibly disciplined people who can keep your calorie intake the same no matter whether you eat 3 meals or 5 meals, you'll be much more comfortable losing weight if you eat 5 to 6 small meals a day. But what if you're like the rest of us who have lots of problems controlling what goes into our mouths? As soon as we start eating, we have a chance of overeating. Then I do not recommend 5 to 6 meals per day, because that it can sometimes stymie your abilities to lose weight because you will eat more calories. The third myth that I'd like to debunk is diets that purport to increase your metabolism, or drinking more water, or whatever it is that you do in order to increase your metabolism. Often the 5 to 6 meals per day is said to increase your metabolism. Well, let's unpack this idea of metabolism. Your metabolic rate has to do with how many calories you burn during the day in your everyday routine. And that includes when you're exercising, when you're sleeping, when you're thinking, when you're eating. How many calories are you burning? Well, there are really only 2 tissues that burn significant amount of calories. There's your brain. Although it's 5% of your weight, it uses 20% of the energy you take in per day. That's your brain. Very good. And the rest is your muscles. Other tissues in your body are not doing much. They do turn over, and if you're in extreme cold or extreme heat, your skin uses a lot of energy to keep you regulated, keep your temperature regulated. However, if you're in air-conditioned regular environments, your muscles are using the majority of the rest of the energy. So how big your muscles are, how much muscular development you have, largely determines how fast your metabolism is. If you increase your muscle mass by any means that you can, especially your large muscles in your legs and in your core, your glutes, your hamstrings, your quadriceps, those muscles, if you increase their size, you will naturally increase your metabolism. So instead of thinking about eating protein, think about making protein in your body, making protein with more muscle mass. So today we've discussed 3 myths that may make it harder to lose weight. And those are that you want to avoid starvation mode and that you can. 2, that you have to eat 5 to 6 meals per day. And then 3, that protein somehow gives you an advantage in losing weight. Concentrating on lowering your calories, concentrating on increasing your muscle mass, and concentrating on good rest and relaxation in order to help your hormonal milieu being better in your body are all effective ways of improving your weight loss. And I wish you Godspeed in losing weight. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to subscribe, please subscribe below. New videos every week.